Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm News 13's Kelsey Peck, joining you live from the 13 Now digital desk in our newsroom, continuing our team coverage of the Atkins Avenue wildfire that continues to spread at this hour. A really dire situation going on, and we want to go ahead and bring you another update. News 13's Emily McLeod, she has been covering this fire since it started out really just before noon today. Emily, you headed out the door and you were thrown in a car with other officials as you guys literally were issuing evacuations in Bay County with them. Tell me about that.
It was really insane. It was unlike anything I had ever experienced. We initially got to where the fire started, and we knew it was bad, and then all of a sudden it was like a switch flipped. It was like that was the moment you knew, oh, this is going to be really, really bad. As soon as they started those first neighborhood evacuations, because initially when we got there were no planned evacuations. It was just, no structures threatened at this time. And then to look at where we are now, it's crazy. So we got in the car and we followed behind officials, and they were taking us down Transmitter Road, and that was pretty intense because I couldn't help but wonder what was going on in their car. They were finding out information just as soon as we were, and so then they were relaying it to us as quickly as they could. But driving down Transmitter and seeing that black smoke just completely take over the sky, and then going into the Brentwood neighborhood where it was just a ghost town. There were people going in and out. I mean, it was really intense.
And in a situation where, I mean, it's quick, right? They're telling everybody, hey, you need to go now. 600 homes, we're told, have been evacuated so far. And the evacuation area is from Transmitter to Star Avenue between Highway 231 and Tyndall Parkway. So quite a large area. And a lot of that is a precaution, but also there are some areas we are hearing, right, that there are some homes that have been impacted directly by fire.
Right. Yeah. It's a really big area. A lot of people impacted by this. I mean, Sheriff Ford told me while I was out there at Highland Park Baptist Church, he said people just had seconds to grab their things. I mean, they've got pets, they've got photographs, they've got, their personal possessions, and then you get a knock on the door and says you've got to go and you have to go now, and they only had a few seconds to grab things that they needed. And so that, it's just, my heart breaks for them. But right now we're told that 2 houses are destroyed. That number could be more at this point. That was given to me quite a while ago, but that was 2 houses completely destroyed, and then another 8 that were impacted by the fires. But again, that number could be higher at this point.
Right, until they're really ready to assist. And I know some people are wondering, when is it time to get back into my home? When can I go back? And I'm told right now, not tonight.
We don't know, honestly. I mean, that's what officials are saying. They say, we know you want to get back in your homes, but not tonight. The wind is just too unpredictable. That was one of the challenges these firefighters were facing today, was that wind direction would just change up on them in a matter of seconds. And so it was a lot of, resources. They would send them one way and then they would have to send them another way. And so this wind direction is really unpredictable, and it's, causing some, concern for where this fire could go next. And, of course, they don't want to tell people to go back into their neighborhoods for that reason.
Right. And Emily, we're under a state of emergency tonight, and more resources are on the way.
Yep, that's right. We've got more resources coming in from the state. We just drove by the Panama City Mall, and the agencies from all around the area, they are parked out there. Kind of an interesting sight to see everybody out there. They're working in shifts. I think a shift change might be coming up here soon, is what I was told at the site. But yeah, we've got more resources coming in. Florida Forestry, they're out there. They've got a bunch of resources out there. 24 vehicles, I think is what they said earlier about that. A couple helicopters, a plane. I mean, there's a lot of work and a lot of effort going into putting out this fire.
Yeah, from the sky and on the ground, and we're so grateful to them working around the clock. Emily, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and talk about the wind conditions, the relative humidity, the weather conditions that have really played a part in fueling this wildfire. Chief Meteorologist Ross Whitley, we're dealing with a bunch of stuff against us right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to be talking about the fire conditions improving tonight and then getting worse tomorrow. So we were talking about this before we got on air here, that there's really 3 conditions that you look for wildfire behavior to be erratic or spreading rapidly. And 2 of those 3 conditions were present today. So you want fuels on the ground, a lot of fuel to deal with that's dry. And then you also want low relative humidity and wind. Those are the 3 conditions conditions that can cause erratic fire behavior. And when you have 2 of the 3, you get fire conditions like you did today. If you have all 3, you have fire conditions like what we saw in 2020 with the Santa Rosa fires and the 5 Mile fire closer to Pensacola and Mobile. That's when you have high winds, low relative humidity, and a lot of fuel to burn. So unfortunately for us, we had 2 of the 3 present today. We're also going to have 2 of the 3 present tomorrow. They're just going to be different because we are going to see our dew points increase. So the moisture will be in the air tomorrow. That's good news on keeping new fires from starting. But however, it's bad news that we're going to see the wind pick up. So whatever fires are still ongoing, and obviously this is a big one, it doesn't appear that they're going to put it out entirely tonight. So the hopes is that they can contain it enough that once the wind picks up tomorrow, that we're not talking about a rapidly spreading fire again by tomorrow afternoon. But it is certainly possible. And the map we have up here highlighting where we do have high fire danger in the yellow and then very high fire danger. This is from the State Forestry Department. They posted this morning. This is where we have it. We also have added the town, or the city of Bluntstown is now effectively under a burn ban. The city there has posted a burn ban. So not the county, the city of Bluntstown. Jackson County is under a burn ban. The county posted that there. And then we have Bay County, which is effectively under a burn ban thanks to the governor orders. So the state of emergency creating that burn ban in place. But as we were talking earlier, we are going to see those dew points on the rise as we go through the night tonight and through the day tomorrow. So that's good news. That should help combat some of those fire issues as we do go through the day tomorrow. So hopefully those fire issues will help things out. And we do have nice battling conditions tonight. So hopefully they can start to contain some of that tonight, and then we'll see where we are tomorrow.
That smoke is really going to travel, right, Ross?
Yeah.
Okay, so talk a little bit about that, because some folks might smell it and go, wow, has it moved? Am I in
Right.
danger? But you've said that because of the conditions, you just might smell it pretty far from where
yeah.
it started.
So tonight, as Emily was saying earlier, we're going to see the wind has been a big issue of this. We haven't had major wind today. We were 5 to 10 miles per hour, at times up to 15 with the sea breeze kicking up. But overnight tonight, we are going to see that inversion set in. So that's going to lower the smoke from where it is elevated down to the surface. And Thomas and Emily might even be able to speak to this, that as they were leaving the scene, they probably noticed more smoke at the ground than earlier on in the day, and that is because that inversion was starting to push the smoke to the surface. So areas north of the fire, with the wind prevailing out of the south tonight, are going to smell smoke, and it's possibly Washington County, Calhoun County, maybe even all the way up to Jackson County. You might smell smoke because it's going to be at the surface and moving in your direction, but you're probably going to be well removed from the fire. Now, driving through smoke like that can be just as dangerous as driving through dense fog because it will limit visibilities. Also, it's smoke. You don't really want to breathe in high, dense smoke, so it lowers the air quality as well. So we're going to be dealing with that tonight. We'll see that smoke lift back up off the surface as we go through the morning hours tomorrow. We start to mix that air. That'll lift things back up. But overnight tonight, I would say, if you can, give a wide berth around the area that is where the smoke is coming from, where the fire is, and then tomorrow morning, even if you are traveling well north of there, just be cognizant of the fact that you are driving through basically dense fog at that point. So treat it like you'd be driving through dense fog.
All right, definitely good information, Ross. Thank you. Well, more than 200 firefighters are on the ground. They're fighting there tonight. They'll be working around the clock to help really contain this fire that continues to spread. More than 600 homes, or about 600 homes, evacuated right now. And Thomas Schultz, News 13's Thomas Schultz, you were at Highland Park Baptist Church earlier. You just came back from there because that's one of the areas that some of these evacuees are headed to tonight. And you spoke to some of them. How are they doing?
It's been a tough night for all of them, obviously. I mean, they're all evacuating. There's about 30 people that are going to be spending the night there at Highland Park Baptist Church. The Salvation Army's brought in cots. Red Cross was there. They were handing out food. There was drinks. There was food trucks there for people as well. So people are bringing supplies. A lot of local community members are also trying to help out as much as they can. But obviously these people want to go home. They want to see if they still have their home standing. And right now they just don't know. They're unsure. I spoke to one woman who knows that her home isn't going to be there when she returns. She lost her dog. She lost her home today. Wow. She lost her home in Hurricane Michael as well, so this is something that has happened to her once before several years ago, and she was just didn't know how she was going to recover and do this all again after doing it in 2018, and it was just really hard. And for her, just talking to her, you could see her kind of going through the grief in the moment, and there was just so many unknowns that she just didn't have the answers to. And there were other people there as well, obviously, who they don't know if their home's going to be there when they return. I spoke to one woman who said that the fire was about down the block from her home when she left, and firefighters were there, and Forest Service was there, and they said, you have to leave, we don't know when you can come back, but you can't be here.
Wow.
And so that's kind of where they're at right now. Luckily, they were able to find a place to stay on the beach, so there are community members helping out and doing their best to do their part to help these people who are struggling right now, but still obviously a lot of unknowns as this fire continues to rage.
Right. We know first responders went door to door earlier today trying to get these folks to evacuate. We know some of you did get an Alert Bay on your phone as well. Emergency officials say that do not return home at this time until you're told to do so, and you'll get that alert from Alert Bay, or even they'll let local media know as well. But it's good to hear, Thomas, that they are trying to find some comfort where they are tonight with that food and shelter.
Yeah, they are, and I mean, people are trying to help out as much as they can, and I believe Salvation Army or Red Cross brought 50 cots. Salvation Army brought food. They worked together to kind of make sure that these people have everything that they need. Like I said, there's about 30 people staying at Highland Park Baptist Church. So obviously, with hundreds of homes being evacuated today, there's a lot of people finding other places to stay and maybe aren't in need of that evacuation center. But a lot of community members absolutely trying to do their part. Obviously, Bay County Sheriff's Office, Bay County was out there just trying to help these people get back on their feet and do anything they can to help them in this time of need.
All right, Thomas, thank you so much. Well, we know that everyone is working very hard right now. Like I said, more than 200 firefighters. We're also getting more resources from other agencies. Governor Ron DeSantis has declared a state of emergency. There is a burn ban in effect in our area, and just conditions right now just not favorable for this wildfire, which is really unfortunate and not helping firefighters whatsoever. So a very urgent situation, and one that we will continue to cover here at News 13. We hope you'll join us on News 13 at 10 for live coverage. Thomas and Emily will be back out at Highland Park Baptist Church for that coverage.